Chapter 27. Restoring the Family. Section 1. The family must be made into the Sabbath. The passageway with God must remain open. When a child makes his parents happy, love and peace come out from inside the parents, and the child's path opens. If the child causes pain in the parent's heart, would the child's path open? No matter how smart I am, if I cause pain in my parent's heart, my path absolutely does not open. When I make it so that the heart of my parents is at peace, then my path opens. So the child must not cause pain in the parent's heart. We must first know the method of how to receive blessing. Many people have absolutely no interest in these things. They just want to receive blessing. The life of a person who lives while knowing such method and the life of a person who lives while not knowing such method are totally different. The person who wants to receive blessing is a spiritually wise person. The person who is to receive blessing is a spiritually wise person. It is made such that the wise person, who has the heart of trying to make God and his or her parents happy, receives blessing. How could blessing possibly not come when God is pouring it out from heaven and the parent is praying for blessing on the child? But if the child does something wrong, the parent's heart gets inflicted. If my relationship with my parents is blocked, the passageway with God also does not open. If I genuinely want to receive blessing, I must correctly fulfill my duties of filial piety. If my passageway with God, who is the source of blessing, is opened, and my relationship with my parents are opened, it is made such that I will receive blessing. The passageway with God must remain open for him to perfectly take responsibility over me. We must find first love. God is love, so he fulfills all things by love. If we only have this love, there is nothing we can't fulfill. In the spring, farmers plant rice crops. The crop must ripen and go as far as into the person's mouth to be perfect harvest. Similarly, God must plant love inside us, and it must become fruit. And love must go as far as to the inside of the other person for it to be perfect love. This love is the first love of Eden. God waited 6,000 years to find the love of Eden. Now, due to his coming again, he fulfills the completion of first love. We must know what it is that God wants. We must find again from our families the things of God's kingdom. We must restore first love again. First love is the love of Eden. It was the love before we lost God in Eden. We had lost that love, and we are being deceived by Satan. But if we know truth correctly, we can find love again. A farmer plants crops and gazes at it while waiting on time because the farmer must eat the fruit to live. What did God let us gaze at until now? He let us go in faith while gazing at hope, but the purpose of such hope is love. Until fruit goes inside the farmer's mouth, it's just gazed at. Simply gazing at fruit doesn't make one feel full, so there's nothing productive about it. We mustn't just gaze at the love of God either. It is now the time to fulfill love. The era of love is the time when first love, which was lost in Eden, must be found. Laughter must come out of the family. 1 Peter 5:7 says, "Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you." Our work is worrying and being anxious. We need to stop this work, which we've been doing until now, and do God's work. This doesn't mean for us to stop our work in the world, but to entrust our worries and anxieties to him. John 6:63 says, Jesus said in John 6:63, "The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life." God's work is thankfulness, joy, peace, and love. Just as our spirits are joyful when we receive the word at church, just as laughter and thankfulness come out. The same must come out in the family. Truthfully, we need to laugh more in the family than we laugh at church. It's very strange that laughter disappears when we go home. We also become serious. This is because the family is covered in darkness. We must drive out darkness in the family with God's light. Then, perfect restoration becomes fulfilled in the family and laughter comes out. Laughter must come out from the family. This is what it means for the family to live. If laughter doesn't come out from the family, to where would one go for laughter to come out? The family with no laughter must be changed so that the family has light. Even if it's a family that never had laughter, if God rests, He changes it. If God's word enters, thankfulness, joy, and peace arise. When we believe and depend on God, who fulfills His word, works arise. Now, in the era of love, laughter must come out from the family. The family must be made into the resting place. The era of love must open starting with our families and extend to church and society. The family must become the resting place that enjoys joy and peace. One says, the family is a resting place, but if we go inside it, there are many cases this isn't so. Whatever it may be, if something is wrong, we must look back and surely restore the family into the resting place. Everyone in the family must put in the effort together. Then, an abundant life can be enjoyed. Our shape is not with the outside of the home. We must fulfill completion in the family. We must go on fulfilling the closest relation with the family. No matter how great of a work there is outside, it doesn't go as far as into the deep place of my spirit. Where will you find joy and peace? To feel joy in a place deep inside myself, I must like it in the family. Only the joy I receive from my family fills me perfectly inside. Due to the love of the cross given by God, we are able to fulfill the kingdom of heaven from our families as much as we want. Yet, we can't fulfill it because we are deceived by our own selves. Now, I must make my family the resting place and find perfect thanks, joy, and love. Section 2. We must find God's joy. The love of God must enter. God comes again to complete love. His love must enter to give me satisfaction in my deficiency. If God does not take hold of me, I can't understand my evil acts. I only have regrets and wonder why I did such things. Also, if God rests upon me and I do good acts, I can't understand my good acts. I don't understand myself and wonder how I could be this good-hearted. To not understand the evil inside myself is to worry and to be anxious. But to not understand the good inside myself is satisfaction. When satisfaction inside us comes, this is the best. No matter how much one says things of the earth are good, satisfaction is only when the love of God enters. Satisfaction is the state in which God governs over me. Such satisfaction is not something that comes due to the things of the earth. It enters our hearts due to God's truth, but this is not of the earth. And if the things of heaven come to us, there's nothing to be envious about. This satisfaction isn't connected to something on this earth, but is satisfaction that God descends. The things of the earth can't satisfy humans, so we must abandon ourselves. If God's things satisfy us, we possess all things on this earth. When the things of heaven satisfy us, God's things complete the things of the earth. All this time, God's completion wasn't fulfilled in me. Because of this, things of this earth are incomplete. Now, He comes again to complete the things of the earth. Does one feel satisfaction in the marital relationship? If they say they feel 100% satisfied, it is a lie. Only when God has entered me as completion, perfect completion is felt. If God doesn't come, there is no satisfaction in the marital relationship. For the relationship to change into satisfaction, the love of God must enter. Are you satisfied with your child? Regarding the child as well, when God has entered me as completion, I am satisfied. God changes me inside into the love of God. We are people made by love, yet we try to be satisfied not by love but other things. Only the love of God must enter for satisfaction to come. Heaven's work is that we receive His love and share it. The work that God's child must do is to eat this love and share. The love of God must flow. If God's love enters as spirit, and the God of spirit controls me, the world of heaven opens in the family, and it opens in my surroundings. Because greed is contained inside human love, it can't govern over me. It makes my family and I experience difficulty. If we can't discern, if we see love as the same, we kill spirits with our greed-filled love. If I'm not opened in the Spirit of God from inside myself, I cannot discern. Love is not all the same. If we can't discern love, we can kill the life of someone's spirit rather than saving it. The love of God must enter me, and His love must go out. If His love flows inside me, movement is different. We must know for certain which love it is that must be used to embrace others. Then we become leaders of the era of love. If we are to govern over the greed-filled love that flows inside us, the human, then only the love of Christ must rest inside us. If greed-filled love flows, one cannot govern over oneself. One cannot control oneself. If greed-filled love flows inside us, we pour evil into the family. Then, due to the greed-filled love that was hidden inside each person, discernment disappears. This becomes the source of calamity, the family breaks apart, and faith shatters as well. If I can't keep my faith with regards to God, I only have the shape. Although the shape of a family is there, if I can't guard my family, it becomes destroyed. In the last days, Satan holds onto all families. There are too many families that have only the shape, but there are fractures inside. That is why we must guard our own places with certainty. Making someone break away from his or her place is Satan. Love between husband and wife is love that saves. But if this love is poured out to anyone else, it is to bring Satan inside. The love of husband and wife is life. But if this love is given to another person, the family becomes destroyed. It is to kill. This love, which is the center of my family, must not flow to other people. We must not be deceived by our own selves. We must discern correctly. The love of God must flow in the marital relationship. With this love, each person must keep his or her place well in order to guard until the end the family given by God. God's joy must be found. To fulfill one family, we need love. If we only had love, there would be nothing that becomes a problem. If love has a crack, however, problems come inside and love grows lukewarm. It is the same with love in the family. If conditions are put up, it is not perfect love. We must treat each other with only the love of God. God's people come to church and are joyful. But if that joy disappears when they go inside their families, it is not perfect faith. If one gets upset in the family frequently, one cannot properly live a life of faith. If one is upset and experiences difficulty in the family, the apple of his or her eye turns mostly to other places. God gave the family as a place of the nest. Would one want to go inside it if the family is noisy? If men travel around and around, outside, eyes turn to the outside, and they do things they had not even thought about. Men must keep their places well. But he ends up not being able to keep his place correctly. In the era of love, our spirits and families now become restored in love, and thankfulness and joy flow while we have confidence in one another. To fulfill a family from inside faith is the greatest blessing. We must find happiness in the family first. God's joy must be found in the family for it to be a genuine kingdom of heaven. This concludes the audiobook for Restoring the Family, written and compiled in the original language Korean by Young Rock Lee, and translated and narrated in English by Synovia Jihan in the USA.